a woman receives a major promotion. At first glance, this is simply a story about career success and moving up the ladder. A few months later, another woman starts going to the gym. She becomes healthier, more confident, and more comfortable in her own skin. A new employee joins an office. She's competent, friendly, and people genuinely enjoy working with her. In a close friendship, someone begins setting boundaries. She stops over-explaining herself and stops saying yes when she means no. These are moments of individual growth. Yet the social response is often an immediate wave of whispered criticism. She's not that talented, don't get too skinny, or she's just being selfish now. We usually label these reactions as simple jealousy. That label ignores the actual mechanics beneath the surface. Our social lives are governed by a specific structure, the hidden emotional economy of identity.
To understand why we instinctively tear others down, we have to look past the person who succeeded and examine the internal panic of the person criticizing them. When a peer grows or succeeds, the brain rarely processes it as a neutral event. Instead, it acts as a psychological trigger. Every change in someone else activates a dormant question in the observer. What does this mean about me? Identity completion theory suggests we prioritize a stable identity over traditional metrics. These jagged, unfinished edges represent unresolved, hidden questions. But when someone nearby shines, these dormant questions resurface. The nervous system registers a contrast, creating an immediate sense of discomfort. This friction is rarely about the successful person's behavior. The event itself threatens the observer's fragile, unfinished sense of self. Social groups function as emotional ecosystems. Individuals lock their self-worth into specific positions within a static web, relying on others' ranks to define their own. If one person alters their status, identity destabilization follows. The connecting lines stretch, and the old emotional balance disappears. This sudden systemic uncertainty activates fear. The old ways of measuring self-worth no longer apply, creating a sense of internal instability. Criticizing a peer functions as a survival mechanism, intended to pull the social ecosystem back into a familiar, predictable homeostasis. The emotional operating system seeks to regulate this discomfort as quickly as possible. Comparison follows a zero-sum logic. Shrinking the other person is the fastest way to restore the observer's relative size. If I make her smaller, I can feel bigger. Attacking someone else's confidence allows the critic to avoid examining their own fear and inadequacy. The criticism reveals where the emotional discomfort exists. The criticism reveals where identity still depends on comparison. Secure people process these moments differently. They can witness another person's growth without feeling an internal threat. This is an internally organized identity. Their value does not depend on winning or external rank. Because their worth is stable, the success of others doesn't change their own internal glow. In practice, they can admire success without feeling diminished and respect a friend's boundaries without feeling rejected. Moving from "I know who I am because of where I rank" to "I know who I am regardless of where I rank." With this shift, the emotional operating system stops requiring constant external regulation to maintain a sense of worth. The perception of others changes. Success becomes inspiration, and growth becomes evidence of human possibility rather than a personal threat. This is the capacity to allow others to become more without ever feeling like you have become less.